Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Darcy, you stated earlier in the course of answering one of the questions that one of my colleagues asked, in the proposal, we define, and you've also used a personal possessive pronoun. I'm a little confused. Whose proposal is this?
It's the administration's proposal.
The administration?
Yes.
So have you been working with the administration to develop the proposed rule?
Yes, EPA and the Corps of Engineers have developed this rule together.
Okay, but this is an EPA proposed rule, correct?
No, it's the administration's rule.
It's administration proposing that.
Yes.
Okay, but you've been collaborating with the Corps. I mean, with the EPA, rather.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're currently in the public comment period, correct?
Yes.
Have you submitted public comment?
No.
Okay. Do you intend to submit public comment?
No, we intend to review the public comment with the EPA.
Collaboratively?
Yes.
Okay. I was just a little confused by that. Administrator, can you define a ditch? I just want to get some clarity. And I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but could you give me some clarity on what a ditch is?
Well, I mean, what we've tried to do in our proposal is make it clear that ditches that are built on land that is normally dry and somebody puts a ditch through it to drain it from rain or some other wet event and it's got water in it sometime, that these are not covered no matter what.
Okay, so here's the problem I have with that.
Okay.
Ultimately, that ditch is designed to drain water. It's going to drain into something. At some point, it drains into a body of water that is regulated and then therefore becomes regulated. Is that not correct?
So the reason we're doing the rulemaking...
I've only got 5 minutes. Is that not correct?
I understand. But let me answer, please. If you just look at the definition of significant nexus, you might start getting into those kinds of thoughts. So what we did in the rulemaking is we specifically, by rule, are excluding those, no matter whether they meet a test or not. And I think that's a key important factor.
We had, in the last 2-3 days in my hometown, we've had about 14 inches of rain. Got a neighbor, got a swimming pool. Swimming pool overflows, can't handle too much. Water flows into a ditch, ditch flows into a regulated body of water. How far back does that swimming pool become a regulated waterway?
It does not. It is not a wetland, nor is it
You don't think that's much of a stretch, though, do you? I mean, to think that...
I don't. I think it is a stretch.
Do you really? Because the ambiguity that I'm hearing from all this is so great that I don't think that's a stretch at all.
Artificial lakes, ponds, swimming pools, they're specifically excluded. We're writing
up to the point that they overflow into a ditch that drains into a regulated body of water, at which point they become connected, correct?
Go ahead.
I would say that's not a significant nexus.
Okay, well, I'm not sold on that, but at any rate, so what about flooded rice fields? At some point in time, they're going to drain into a flooded rice fields.
Rice fields are not included.
Well, I think what's going on here is an effort to create such ambiguity that you're given ultimate regulatory authority on a whim, and that there's really no recourse for those folks that are affected, and the fining that's going to come through, and farmers and other businesses, the cash flow that it's going to impact, and there's not been any economic analysis to address that. And let me ask you one more thing about public comment. Will you be entertaining public comments from other federal agencies?
Yes.
You will. And you think that's appropriate?
Yes, most rulemaking...
Are they more heavily weighted than public comment from, say, some of the relevant stakeholders in the private sector?
No, sir.
Our friends at Farm Bureau, for example, National Association of Counties, will they be given equal weight, their public comments?
Yes, they will.
I think you'll find when you hear their public comments, and I would also echo the sentiments of the chairman, encourage you to stay around and hear their comments and find that they probably agree with me that there is significant ambiguity in this to cause great concern, not just in the agriculture industry, but to homeowners, to business owners, and anybody that has even a view of water from where they're standing. So with that, I yield back.